Oh, hi there. Today I want to talk about the Kindle. I just happened to get one of these recently, and I am really amazed. It's probably about the weight of a, uh, a novel or some type of a paperback book. It's not very heavy at all. The uh, the screen uh, is very you can look at it really easily. So right now I'm pulling up Dracula, and you can sort of see that. I was shocked. Outside in the sun, with full sunlight on this, you can read this, and this is that ink technology that basically is different than a computer one. It basically kind of, I think it's sort of like an etch a sketch in some ways. It puts it on there and it just stays there. So it's not like the LCD panels on a computer screen and whatnot. And it looks it looks great on here. You press that button there, and you can see a little flash as it goes from one page to another. If you need to go back a page, you can go back a page. You can hit a menu, and you can jump to a certain page if you want to. You can put bookmarks on here. You can highlight some things. I am very impressed with this in a lot of different ways. There's a lot of really cool things with it. So one thing is you can get books. So far, I've gotten pretty much all the free stuff. So here's War and Peace right here. I'm pulling up. So there's War and Peace right there, and you can kind of see the lines that goes on there. You can do a search for things also, and it's just I'm just really impressed with this Kindle for the purpose of it is reading books. I predict in the educational world within the next 5 years, these type of devices, whether it's a Kindle or some type of electric book, are going to replace textbooks. And so I wanted to kind of get into this a little bit now. I'm sure probably it's going to get some type of color technology going on. Probably the size of a textbook, probably at least an 8.5 by 11 sheet type of screen. I know they kind of got the bigger ones of these. And one other aspect on here, there's a couple of functions on here that are experimental. And you hit menu and you come down to the experimental page. And it gives you a chance. They have something they call launch browser. So this one I bought, I paid a few bucks more, and I got the one that's the 3G version along with Wi-Fi. You can get this to Wi-Fi, and if you have wireless internet at home, or at some of the places where they have the open Wi-Fi, you can log into it. And with 3G network, basically, it's AT&T, and anywhere they got basically a signal, the Edge or the 3G signal, you can basically go on there and use the internet for free. Now it's not super speedy. Let me launch the browser, and I'll pull up. Right now, I have it on the my wireless internet at my house right now. I'll launch that. Launch the browser, and it's obviously on your built-in Wi-Fi. It's a lot faster than if it was using some of the cell phone networks in a way. But the cool thing is like this: if you're out traveling, you're out somewhere, you don't have internet, your internet goes down. Say a hurricane comes through, say some type of weather happens, you can go on there and do that. So you can do. They have a list on here of bookmarks, Wikipedia, Google. You can check your Gmail, your Yahoo Mail. The New York Times is on here, the BBC, Facebook, Twitter is on here, and of course you can put whatever bookmarks you want yourself on here. So this is just for fun. Let's go to Google, just because that's kind of the big one, and you kind of see it pop up hopefully. And there's the Gmail, and there's the Google, and I can do a search. Say I have to do a search for Kindle. Okay, so I'll type that in there, and then I'll hit scroll down. The little that's probably the biggest flaw on this here, because it's not really an internet device per se, but it takes a little you getting used to jumping around on it. But doing a search for Kindle, and you can see it's not blazing fast, but it'll work. You can blow it up by hitting this AAA button, and make it bigger, so you can actually sort of see some of the things that you're looking at on here. And I'm just fascinated with this device. For something that's a little over $100 range, it's amazing. It does have speakers, so it can play back audible books or and you can put MP3 things on there as well. So if you have your own study lectures, you can put that on there yourself and listen to it. That's an experimental part as well on there. And you can listen to some music. the order you put them in is the order it plays it, and you probably don't want to put more than 10 or 30 in there because you can't rewind. You can go forward, so you basically got to circle through. So if you put 1,000 songs in there, if you want to hear that song again, you're going to be clicking a whole lot to get to that song. Anyways, I can't give the praises for something that's like $100 range. I am very impressed with this device. I have tried it on the Wi-Fi, which works great. I've tried it on the 3G and the Edge network, and it works. It's slower, probably, I don't know, 25% of the Wi-Fi speed, but if you just need to check your email real quick or get on the Facebook or Twitter or whatever you need to do real quick, do some quick internet searching. A lot of times when I'm out and about, I like to do a little search for something that if I'm buying something to see how much the prices are, kind of price check things. And I know for a lot of y'all have your smartphone, so you probably use that a lot. For folks that A, can't afford it, or B, don't want that, I just want a phone to call somebody. I don't care about text messaging. I don't care about having a bunch of other jazz on it. This might be a cool little device to carry. And I can see potentially if there's some type of storm or some type of natural the electricity goes down and you can't use your computer, this could be a good way to stay in touch with folks. I would almost say get a Kindle, charge it up, and put it with just kind of have it ready to go. You can put all your books in there of things that you need to have, such as maps and things like that, because you can put PDF files on here. So on here, I can go back and find one of my books I put on here. Let's see if we can find that real quick. Rise of the Robots, one of the greatest screenplays ever written by mankind, or Herbert Midgley. So there's a screenplay of that right there, and I can go through here, read it. I can go here and highlight stuff and have it on there. Someone wants to read my screenplay, well, got it on my Kindle. Here it goes, ready to go, and that's just a PDF file. And apparently you can make the special type of files for the Kindle itself as well. And I do actually have a couple books on Kindle that you can actually buy if you wanted to. So that's kind of cool. This is definitely the future of writing. This is definitely the future of the books. In a lot of ways, I kind of think of this as kind of like as revolutionary as the Gutenberg press in some ways. That's maybe a bold point in some ways for some people, because that allowed people to actually have books and not just have somebody transcribe it out by hand. At one point when you used to go to a library, the books all had chains on them so people wouldn't steal them. And I remember when computers first came out, they all had chains on them too in these computer labs. Well, it got to a point that books were so cheap you didn't need to chain them anymore. And guess what? Computers are so cheap today, they don't even chain them anymore hardly. And now we got these e-books going on. This is going to change the future. I really predict it in the next 5 years, 10 years for sure. Probably every textbook will be this way. Probably your kids in public school will have some type of electric book. And it's just the way of the future. I mean, it's just fast. They do updates instantaneously if they needed to, some typos or whatever. And just this has internet. You basically have an encyclopedia of the world right there as well. So, in the palm of your hands. And the couple things that I think in the future is going to happen, some type of color screen, because it's good to be able to see some pictures, especially if you're studying art or cinema. I'm not sure if this really needs to be able to play video. I'm sure the ones in the future will be able to play some video and do some multimedia. Basically, at that point, you're getting to like some type of pad device at that point there, which would just increase the price. I guess they will have that in the future. And I think a little bit bigger, it'd be a little bit easier for you to have more content on there. I think an 8.5, but this is the size of a textbook. I had that be the screen. Have a little typing area here. Have some type of Wi-Fi. Have some internet connectivity with it. And that will be the killer app for textbooks and so forth like that. So anyways, the Kindle, I highly recommend it. I am amazed at how cool this is. I love reading science fiction. I love short stories, and I read one yesterday and on the Kindle, and easy on the eyes, way easier to read in my opinion than reading stuff on the computer itself. So if you're into reading like I am, you're into writing like I am, I say get a Kindle. It's a thumbs up. And in a lot of ways, what I'm holding in the palm of my hand, we'll look back 10 years from now and think this is the beginning of the future for books, for literature. I do not think literature is dead. I think literature is going to be stronger. I think how just like music, the distribution model is going to be different. That you're not going to need a publisher anymore. You can just publish stuff yourself and have someone be able to put it on there. So there'll be a lot of rock stars, basically, of authors out there, be able to make their own stuff. There's a lot of great writers out there that never get published. If you're into poetry, you can make your own book now. Put it as a Kindle book. Novel, I wrote a novel. It's on there. It's on the Kindle that you can get. Screenplays, plays, things like that. I think that's going to emancipate a lot of the writers out there, just like the internet has for independent artists and musicians as well. So, Kindle, if you're into reading, I say thumbs up. Get you one. They're for $100 range. There's plenty of free books out there, books that are copyrighted before 1923, such as Dracula. That's no problem. Any of the old Dickens books and so forth like that. So if you're into the older literature, and they do have the regular books for like 99 cents. There are some games on there as well. So if you're into some word games, they do have some of those that you can put on there. But again, this is mainly to read. It does surf the internet lightly, and you can play some games lightly on it. But this is definitely not a gaming device. This is a book. This is basically a book that you can hold a lot of books. So in a lot of ways, this is kind of like the iPod of books. And I think Amazon did a great job with this Kindle. So again, thumbs up, Kindle all the way. I look forward to reading many, many, many books on the Kindle. Rock and roll.